Okay, so now we're going to work on the parameter query, which will allow us to filter by cake type, well, by the cake name, which has the descriptor of the cake in it. So for example, if I'm only interested in chocolate cakes, I can type in chocolate and hit search and then only get those types of results. So basically, what we want is a search bar up at the top here, and what we have to do, if you want that search bar, and you don't want to have to make your own from scratch, which you don't have to because the search bar that you get by default is pretty functional and only requires a few modifications. You have to go through the front end here and in the component tray. There are other ways to do it. In later videos, we're going to be going through the data set in the back end, the data set schema, which comes later. But in the if you want when you're doing a parameter query, I think the best course of action is to always go through the front here, the component tray in the form designer. You're going to hit that little arrow there and do add query. Okay, and so here, I think I would like to give this a more descriptive name instead of just fill by. Why don't we do like fill by name, okay, the cake name, which has the description of the cake. And then you want to hit query builder. Okay, and then here in the cake name row, I'm going to go to the filter column, and you know, I talked about this in a previous video on the parameter query, but you want to open this up with the wildcards, which are percent signs, and we'll concatenate the question mark. The question mark is a stand-in for the user's search term, whatever they end up typing in the little white box that we get. So if I type in chocolate, the question mark takes on the value of chocolate, basically. So we're looking for something like chocolate. Whatever comes first and whatever comes after that, we don't care. It just makes your query more flexible. Otherwise, it would make, if you didn't have these wildcards, your query would be very literal. And if the user types chocolate, you're not going to get any cakes because there are no cakes in the database called just chocolate. Okay. So anyway, if you want, you can do a test on the query. Okay, maybe I'll just type this, and we'll see what we get. Okay, I've got 3 hits, so it's working. I'm going to click OK, and then OK. So this is the little bar that I'm talking about. We wouldn't have this if we had gone through the back end, the data set schema. So FYI. All right, so anyway, I think maybe I'll just modify this a little bit to make it more user-friendly. And basically, well, hanging here. Oh, there we go. All right, so basically this I'll just do, maybe say search, that'll be good. And this, maybe I'll just put a space there to make it look nice. All right, so I'm gonna run this. Okay, so I'll try it here at the front end and hit search. And I'm down to just three chocolate cakes, okay? And now what? I want to get back to all of the cakes. I don't have a means to do that. So let's add like a clear button or a clear filter type of button, which is pretty easy to do. So you have your little search bar here, and you can just click this icon to add a new button. And that's the new button. I think you could experiment with graphics on your buttons and find maybe some cute icons out on the internet. But I'm just going to go with a text display style, and we'll call this one. I think I would like to give this a better name here. So let me alphabetize those. So I think I'll call this tool strip button clear, just so I know I'm looking at the clear button when I see this in my code. And also the text property, I will say something like clear filter, clear search results, or something like that. Something descriptive. Okay. All right, so now we're home free. All you have to do is refill the data set, and we don't even have to type a line of code here. We just have to copy one. In the form load, when the program first runs, the data set is filled by the data adapter, the table adapter. And so all we really have to do is copy that. I have two here because I was playing with this application. I've probably set up two data sources, so I'll just go ahead and take one of them. They're both going to work. And so I'll just go ahead and do that. So we're refilling the data set, and I'll go ahead and test it. Okay, so searching, there are my chocolate cakes. And if I clear the search results, now I'm back to all of them, all of the cakes. So that works fine. I just want to show you real quickly, and then we'll move on to the next video. We talked about it, well, in the last video, this kind of double layer of certainty, as I'm calling it. In this act of like kind of refilling the data set, first when you're doing the search, what happens is that full data set with all the cakes is wiped out and then repopulated with just the chocolate cakes in this instance. So the data set is cleared out and then refilled, and there's that moment where it's emptied out, and before the new cakes are added, there's this moment when the data set is empty. And then again, when you're clearing the filter results, again, the chocolate cakes then are wiped out, and then the data set is refilled with everything. And there's again this split second where there's nothing in there. And so if you don't have this second layer of certainty, there's going to be this moment where there's nothing in the data set and the current cake is null and your program is going to bomb. So I'll just run it to prove my point here. Oh, and okay, so I tried to run it and I didn't even get that far. I thought I would get a little farther than this even, but I can't even get past it. I've already thrown a null reference exception, so you can see here why that extra if statement, that outer if, is necessary. So we'll just have to get that back in place. And don't forget to add that in your homework. So this is a good model for your homework, but not least because we have these kind of measures in place already. So, okay, on to the next video.